They call it Tabalong. Most people see it as a district in South Kalimantan, a place on a map, a gateway between provinces, a land crossed by highways, rivers and forests. But what if I told you that beneath the modern roads and growing cities lies a story that stretches back thousands of years, a story older than kingdoms, older than empires, older than recorded Indonesian history itself? This is the story of Tabalong, a land where ancient humans once sought shelter inside mountain caves, a land where kingdoms rose, civilizations flourished, warriors fought, and generations refused to surrender their identity. A land whose people carry a motto that perfectly reflects their spirit: Saraba Kawa, capable of everything, ready for every challenge. And when you understand the journey of Tabalong, you realize that those words are not just a slogan, they are a way of life. Long before modern Indonesia existed, long before the arrival of foreign traders, long before the rise of great kingdoms across Southeast Asia, the region that would become Tabalong was already home to human communities. Archaeological discoveries reveal that as early as 8000 BC, Austro-Melanesian people inhabited caves within the Meratus Mountains. One of the most significant discoveries was made at Gua Babi, located near Gunung Batu Buli in the Randu area of Muara Uya. The fossils and artifacts found there tell an extraordinary story. Thousands of years before cities were built, thousands of years before written records existed, human beings were already living, hunting, adapting and surviving in the rugged landscapes of Tabalong. Imagine standing inside those ancient caves. Imagine the fires burning through the darkness, the sounds of nature echoing across untouched forests, the determination of early humans building a future with nothing except courage, intelligence and resilience. This is where the story begins. Not with a kingdom, not with a government, but with humanity itself. As centuries passed, communities grew and civilizations developed. According to historical records, around the year 520, the kingdom of Tanjung Puri emerged in the area that is now Tanjong, the capital of Tabalong. This kingdom became one of the earliest organised political centres in the region. While much of the world's attention was focused elsewhere, societies in Borneo were developing their own systems of governance, culture, trade and leadership. Tanjung Puri was not simply a settlement, it was evidence that the people of this land possessed ambition. They were builders, organisers, dreamers, and they were creating a civilization that would leave its mark on history. By the 13th century, Tabalong was inhabited by communities speaking Malayic, Bukit languages, and the Manyan language. These communities formed part of the rich cultural mosaic that continues to define the region today. Their traditions, customs, and ways of life became the foundation upon which future generations would build. Then came the rise of larger regional powers. Around the year 1200, forces associated with the kingdom of Negara Dipa expanded their influence into the area. Historical accounts tell of military campaigns led under the authority of Ampu Jatmika, one of the most important figures in early South Kalimantan history. As kingdoms expanded, alliances formed and territories shifted. Yet the people of Tabalong remained. Through every political change, through every new ruler, through every challenge, they endured. Then came one of the most dramatic chapters in Borneo's history. The kingdom of Nan Sarunai, associated with the Dayak Manyan people, faced devastating attacks linked to the expansion of the Majapahit Empire during the 14th century. The memory of these events remains deeply embedded in local traditions and oral histories. For many communities, these stories symbolise loss, struggle, and survival. Empires rose, empires expanded, empires conquered, but the spirit of the people never disappeared. By 1363, the wider Barito region, including Tabalong, had become part of territories influenced by Majapahit. The arrival of Prince Suryanata marked a new political era as connections between Java and Borneo became increasingly significant. History moved forward, dynasties changed, power shifted, yet Tabalong continued to stand at the crossroads of transformation. Around 1400, the region became part of the Kingdom of Negara Daha, successor to Negara Dipa. Then, in 1526, Tabalong entered a new chapter as part of Benua Lima under the Banjar Sultanate. The influence of Islam gradually spread across the region. Trade expanded, culture evolved, communities adapted. The identity of Tabalong became richer with every generation. This ability to absorb change while preserving local heritage became one of the defining characteristics of the region. Centuries later, another challenge would emerge: colonialism. Across the Indonesian archipelago, foreign powers sought control over resources, territory, and people. Tabalong was no exception, but resistance was never far away. On August 17, 1860, one of the most legendary figures in South Kalimantan history, Prince Antasari, established Fort Tabalong. This was not merely a military structure, it was a symbol, a declaration that freedom mattered, a declaration that the people would not simply surrender, a declaration that dignity was worth fighting for. The spirit of resistance became woven into the identity of Tabalong. Even under colonial administration, local leaders continued to guide their communities. The region experienced numerous political and administrative changes during Dutch rule. New districts were formed, government structures evolved, colonial officials arrived and departed. Yet beneath the bureaucracy remained something stronger: the people, the farmers working the land, the traders supporting local economies, the families raising future generations, the communities preserving traditions despite external pressures. The early 20th century brought further unrest. In 1927, Gusti Barmawi led resistance related to forced labour policies. The movement reflected widespread frustrations among local populations who rejected injustice. 10 years later, in 1937, another uprising occurred in Hariang, Banua Lawas. The conflict demonstrated once again that the people of Tabalong were unwilling to remain silent when faced with oppression. History repeatedly reveals a simple truth: the people of Tabalong have never accepted hardship passively. They respond, they adapt, they persevere. Then came World War II. On February 6, 1942, Japanese forces occupied Tanjung. Like countless communities across Asia, Tabalong entered a period of uncertainty and hardship. War reshaped daily life. Families faced enormous challenges. Communities endured immense pressure. Yet even during these difficult years, hope survived. When Indonesia proclaimed independence in 1945, the struggle was not over. Freedom had been declared. Now it had to be defended. On June 3, 1949, the general offensive of Tanjung became part of the broader struggle for Indonesian sovereignty. The people of Tabalong joined countless others across the archipelago who refused to allow their dreams of independence to be taken away. Every sacrifice carried a purpose. Every effort moved the nation closer to freedom, and Tabalong played its role. After independence, a new challenge emerged: building a future. The people of Tabalong understood that political freedom alone was not enough. They needed self-governance. They needed representation. They needed the ability to shape their own destiny. At that time, Tabalong was still part of Hulu Sungai Utara Regency. Many local leaders believed the region possessed the resources, population, and potential necessary to become an autonomous district. So they organized, they collaborated, they mobilized. On March 15th, 1958, prominent figures in Tanjung established a committee dedicated to pursuing autonomous regency status for Tabalong. The effort brought together community leaders, government officials, activists, and visionaries. These individuals were not seeking personal glory, they were fighting for the future of their people. Names such as Baharuddin Ahmed, Juri, Abdullah Khairul, H. Baderi, Usnan As, and many others became part of this historic movement. The campaign required persistence. Meetings were held, proposals were written, political support was gathered, resolutions were passed. Advocates traveled to higher levels of government. They faced bureaucracy, they faced uncertainty, they faced delays, but they refused to quit. Because they believed Tabalong deserved its own future. Their determination paid off. On May 5th, 1959, the Regional People's Representative Council of Hulu Sungai Utara formally approved the demand for Tabalong to become an autonomous district with Tanjung as its capital. Momentum continued to build. Support expanded throughout South Kalimantan. Provincial leaders backed the proposal. Political organizations endorsed the movement. Government representatives traveled to Jakarta to advocate directly before national authorities. Their message was simple: Tabalong was ready, and eventually the nation agreed. On September 5th, 1964, Tabalong became a preparatory Level 2 region. It was an important milestone, but the ultimate goal had not yet been achieved. That final victory arrived through Law No. 8 of 1965. The legislation elevated Tabalong into a fully autonomous Level 2 regency. A dream that had inspired years of struggle had finally become reality. Then came the historic moment. December 1st, 1965. Thousands upon thousands of people gathered in Tanjung. Excitement filled the air. Hope filled every heart. Government officials, community leaders, and ordinary citizens stood together to witness history. At exactly 11 o'clock in the morning, the ceremonial unveiling took place. The green velvet covering was removed, and behind it appeared a message that would forever be remembered. Daerah Tingkat 2 Tabalong diresmikan 1 Desember 1965. The Regency of Tabalong was officially inaugurated. For many, it was more than an administrative achievement. It was the realization of a collective dream, a victory earned through unity, perseverance, and belief. Today, Tabalong covers approximately 3,767 square kilometers. Its population has grown from around 218,000 people in 2010 to more than 269,000 people by the first half of 2025. Its capital, Tanjung, continues to develop as a center of governance, commerce, education, and regional connectivity. Strategically positioned between South Kalimantan, Central Kalimantan, and East Kalimantan, Tabalong serves as an important gateway linking different regions of Borneo. Its economy continues to evolve. Its infrastructure continues to expand. Its opportunities continue to grow. Yet perhaps the most valuable resource in Tabalong is not found underground. It is not found in forests. It is not found in buildings. It is found in its people, the descendants of ancient cave dwellers, the heirs of kingdoms, the survivors of colonialism, the defenders of independence, the dreamers who fought for autonomy. Generation after generation, they have carried the same spirit forward, a spirit captured perfectly in the motto Saraba Kawa, capable of everything, ready for every challenge. And perhaps that is the true lesson of Tabalong. Greatness is not measured by how often a place appears in headlines. It is not measured by how many people know its name. Greatness is measured by resilience, by courage, by perseverance, by the determination to keep moving forward no matter what history places in your path. Tabalong has faced ancient uncertainty. It has witnessed the rise and fall of kingdoms. It has endured invasions, colonialism, war, and political transformation. Yet it remains standing, stronger, wiser, more determined than ever. Because Tabalong is not merely a regency in South Kalimantan. It is a living story of survival, a testament to the power of unity, a symbol of perseverance across thousands of years, and a reminder that the most extraordinary places in the world are often the ones history has quietly protected until the world is finally ready to listen. This is Tabalong, the land of resilience, the land of history, the land where generations proved that impossible is simply another challenge waiting to be conquered.